Hello, welcome. So today we're looking at a post from r/BestofRedditorUpdates, and this person has a secret room. What is in that room? Well, we will find out. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, then like, subscribe, and enjoy. I am filming rather late at night again, so if I do sound a little bit quieter, I do apologise. I have put the microphone as close to my mouth as I can get it without sounding really weird, so hopefully that does the job. So this post was compiled by Direct Caterpillar 77, and the title is My 31M Girlfriend 29F has a locked room in her house, and I don't know what's in it. I think curiosity would drive me insane if I was with someone and they had a secret room and I didn't know what was in it. It would drive me nuts. So the original post was posted on April 12th, 2017, so it's quite an old post. My girlfriend Amy and I have been together for 5 years, and we are planning on moving in together into her new home when my lease is up in 2 months. Our relationship is great. We have arguments, but not often, and we always resolve them like rational people. That sounds brilliant. Amy owns a house, and she bought it about 10 years ago. The city we live in was depressed for a while. Picture Detroit, but not, where if you were so inclined, you could buy a big house in a bad neighbourhood for a song and a dance and then fix it up and hope the neighbourhood would come around, which is luckily what happened to her. It's a big old Victorian house with 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Usually we hung out at my apartment since it was near her work, and I don't have a car to get out to her place, but some weekends here and there I would spend the night. When my job went remote 5 months ago, I started spending a lot more time at her place. Now that sounds like such a big risk, doesn't it? Buying a house in a really bad area and then hoping the area catches up and gets better. But I can also completely understand why somebody would do it, because house prices are insane. I mean, I do not think I will ever own a house in my lifetime, let's put it that way. I think it's going to be renting all the way for me, forever and ever. To be fair though, I'm quite happy with that, because at least then I don't have to pay for repairs on the house, the landlord does, which is fantastic. It wasn't really until after a month I realised the 1 bedroom upstairs has a latch with a padlock on it. I thought it was really weird that it was a padlock and not just a door lock. I mentioned it to her and she said, yeah, I really don't go in that room or use it. What? I mean, I get that's a big home and she lived in it alone for a long time, so she didn't need the space. But to padlock it like that? I asked her what was in it and she shrugged and said, stuff. Like it was no big deal. I asked if we could open it, since maybe that would be a good space for my home office, and she said, no. I really want to know what's in this room. Now I'm really curious, and it's actually sort of eating away at me. I don't care what's in the room, I just honestly don't get why it is padlocked shut. That's weird, right? Am I being unreasonable since I'm moving in? I understand the right to privacy, and I wouldn't snoop and couldn't if I wanted to. You couldn't even tell from the outside since it's on the 2nd floor. I've been sort of paying attention now if she goes in there or not, and I don't think she ever does. I feel like since I'm moving in, I have a right to know, but do I? I don't want to make her open it, but she's so nonchalant about it and changes the subject that my mind keeps running away with me about what could be in there. Yeah, I completely understand, because it would drive me nuts as well, not knowing. If I was moving in there, it would drive me nuts. If I wasn't, and it was someone's house and I wasn't moving in with them, whether they were a partner or not, I'd be like, okay, I'm nosy, so I kind of do want to know, but you know, that's your private room, you do what you want with it. But if I was moving in, I'd be like, I can't stand that there is a locked room that I have no knowledge about of what is in there, and it's driving me insane, because I'd have to see the bloody thing every day. So no, I don't think you're being unreasonable being annoyed about this. I'm just wondering what other people think. What should I do? And if I'm being unreasonable wanting to know what is in this padlocked room, or if I don't have a right to. Our relationship is amazing and perfect except for this one really weird issue. TLDR, moving in with girlfriend who has a padlocked shut room and never goes in, and she won't open it. Yeah, no, honestly, it would drive me nuts. I'd have to be getting a ladder on the outside and climbing up to that flaming window. And not because I'm like, oh, you can't have your privacy, but when you're living together, come on, it should be like no secrets at that point. I am very much one that's like, you can have your privacy. If you say to me, oh, I keep private stuff in that room, like private documents or, you know, things of a family members, I'd be like, cool, that's fine, whatever. At least I know. But to just be like, it's a locked room and I'm not going to tell you any details about it whatsoever. That would drive me insane. So some relevant top comments from the original post. Library Lulu says 1. 4 children from her previous marriage that she doesn't want you to know about. 2. Her mother's mummified body. 3. She's secretly a slob and that's where she throws all the unwashed dishes and hoarded cat poop. 4. 23 cats, no more, no less, and a lot of cat poop. This person's bringing up a lot of cat poop. Do you think they might like cats? I could totally understand wanting a room with 23 cats, but I couldn't keep them locked in there, and I couldn't keep them to myself because I talk about my cats all the time to anybody who will listen. 5. All of her previous boyfriends and 2 ex-husbands who mysteriously disappeared. 6. Her collection of fingers. They no longer fing. 7. A horse. That's why you hear those noises in the night. The sound is distant nickering. Is that what it's called when a horse makes the neighing sound? Is that what it is? Because knickers here are pants, like underwear. Well, not pants in America, I suppose, because that would be trousers. But yeah, it's underwear. That's what we call underwear. That's really funny. 8. A happy plant farm. 9. Dracula, because, why not? And then Red Rose Beetle continues the list of possible things that could be in the secret room that's driving us all insane. 10. A satanic altar. 11. A naughty fun time room. 12. Oh, I can't say that. People that are places they don't want to be are by no means of their own. 13. Portal to another dimension. Library Lulu says that room is huge on the inside. Plenty of room for all the bodies. OP. Cats send me into an almost dying asthma attack, so I think if there were 23 of them, I would know. The happy plant farm is very unlikely. She's in law enforcement. Lol. Well, there you go then. She might be nicking from the evidence room and keeping it all there. Or here we go. Here's one then. So she's in law enforcement. Maybe she moonlights as a vigilante superhero, but without superpowers, and she's a bit shit at it. That's why no one's heard of it. But that's her operations room where she keeps all of her equipment and her little suit, whatever. And yeah, that's why you're not allowed in there and she won't tell you. Or there is no room. You're imagining it all. Super, mega, ultra. I'm not saying that because I know that it's just going to make YouTube hate my video and not show it to anybody. This is straight out of a horror movie. You've been together 5 years. Some ominous locked room in the house you plan to move into is a huge effing no-no. You do have a right to know since you're moving in. Weird, creepy, secrets should not be a thing in relationships. Tell her it makes you uncomfortable and you'd like to know what's in that room before you move in. Has you found your toy? No, you can't have my sleeve. That is one of my cats being a little pain in the butt. You can't take my sleeve. OP. That's a good way to phrase it about it making me uncomfortable. Hopefully she knows I mean it. I'm really big on privacy and respecting privacy and boundaries, but this really is just driving me up the wall. I get it. I 100% get it. And I'm one of them people that loves to watch, those TikToks or YouTube videos or Instagram reels where people have been refurbing their house and then they've just found a random door and they open it up and then, oh my life, there's a new room, there's a stairs to a new basement. There was one where it was a stairs to a basement, and this was in the UK, and it actually led down into tunnels that then carried on going and they thought maybe, because they didn't want to go too far in case they got lost, that it could maybe lead to the Manchester Underground tunnels. I was enthralled watching that. I was watching this whole person's TikTok and I was fuming when I got to it, and then there was no more updates. When I got to the end, I was absolutely raging. Anyway, Attack Symmetra says, and while I know you two are big on privacy, you have to come back with an update on what's in the room. We need to know. We do need to know. Unless you end up getting murdered by the clown dolls from a burned down children's hospital that are locked inside, of course. OP. Oh god, I didn't even consider clowns. I will absolutely give an update either way. She's working an overnight, so I will talk to her tomorrow. Or, hear me out. We go all private detective, get some of those funny little weird gadget thingies that you stick in a lock to unlock it. You unlock it, you have a look in, you do an investigation, and then you have it all locked up by the time she gets home. This username is deleted, so I have no idea who put it, but they say, I'm enjoying this thread so much. Me too. On a serious note though, has your girlfriend experienced any serious trauma that you're aware of? I ask because I also had a never go in that room. Last year, my daughter almost croaked it in her bedroom. It was a CPR and defibrillator and ambulances and a world-class children's hospital involved level incident. She's okay now, but I couldn't stay in that house again. We moved out a week later, and every time we went back to pack, I had to have my husband deal with her room. With the door closed, just too many horrifying memories. Like I said, I know it's a stretch, but is it possible that something like that could have happened? Oh my goodness, do you know what? I think about this all the time. Because obviously, when you are my age, you have lots of friends who have kids, and inevitably you'll have someone you know that has something very traumatic happen to their kids at home. And something like that happened to someone I know. Very sort of dramatic and traumatic. Luckily, the kid was okay in the end. But they were saying the same, like they couldn't go in the room that it happened in for months. And I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I don't think I could either. If something happened, touch wood, if something happened to one of my kids in one of the rooms in my house, I think that room would be completely off limits for a long time. The panic you feel when something happens to one of your children, I can't even describe it. It's a panic like no other. And it can be something so small that makes you panic like that as well. Like say they've fallen over and they've got a real nasty cut, but really it's not that bad and it will heal up on its own with a good old few plasters and, you know, a good wash. But it's that gut wrenching, just it's almost like all of a sudden there is a black hole in your torso and it's been replaced by nothing but panic. It is horrible, and it's so traumatizing. So to have something really bad happen in that room could very much be why, and it could also be why she does not want to talk about it at all. OP, wow, that must have been so scary, and I'm glad your daughter is okay. Me too. As far as I know, there's been no trauma, but after 5 years, I would have thought I would have heard about it by now, unless she decided not to tell me, which I would respect if it was that traumatic. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people just can't get over certain things, and they will never talk about it, you know? Now on to the update. April 15th, 2017, so this was 3 days later. Here is my update. I never did figure out how to post it. Hello Reddit, I promised an update to my prior post in this sub. Sorry for no link, I'm on mobile so not sure how to link it. But if you look in my post history, it's the only one on there. I would have posted early, but I needed some time to digest things. Oh my goodness, what did you find in the room? I had a long talk with my girlfriend when she got home from work in the morning about the locked room. She tried to blow it off a few times and got out of the conversation until I told her I couldn't move in until she told me what was in the room and I saw it for myself. I told her I didn't care what was in there. After posting here, I was more and more convinced that it was probably guns or something related to work in law enforcement, as that really did make a lot of sense. Eventually, she broke down sobbing. Oh no. Oh dear. Big, giant, ugly sobs like I have never seen before. It was pretty shocking. She's not really a crier. It took a good 15 minutes before she could even start forming words that I could understand between the giant sobs. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see. I knew as soon as she started crying that it wasn't a room full of guns or work stuff. Actually, the room is empty. There is nothing in there. Someone had surmised in the comments of the post that maybe there was some trauma. Oh dear. I forgot who it was, but unfortunately, they were correct. She was basically a kid at 19 when she bought the house. Like I said, bad neighborhood, fixer-upper, etc. Kudos to her for even being able to buy a house at 19, by the way. So she had a big down payment and was planning on taking the rest of her savings to fix it up. I don't want to get specific with details as it's pretty gruesome and also privacy. But in her 3rd week living there, she had a home invasion where she was home in that room and she was assaulted. That's awful. She had no money to move and no family around, so she stayed in the home after buying a security system and locking the door up and planning to just never unlock it and basically never go in that room again. Oh my goodness, that is awful. Bless her. And imagine having to stay in that house after that happened. The only thing you can really do is just lock the room and try and pretend it's not there. Can you just imagine, like, put yourself in those shoes right now for a second. You're in the house, you're home alone, it's nighttime, that room is there, it's locked, but you still have to walk past it. And can you imagine that feeling that you would get every time you have to walk past that room where something so foul happened? Oh, that must be awful. That's honestly, it's given my spine the shivers, the thought of that. I put myself a bit too far in the shoes, I think, and it's made me feel so uncomfortable just even thinking about it. So I can't imagine how OP's partner must feel. Oh, no. So there you have it. I seriously was not expecting that at all, and it has been a long week for her, and I feel terrible I made her tell me, but she says that she's glad I know now. She never told me before because she didn't want to, which I totally respect. Also, that is when she decided to start a career in law enforcement to help other people. FYI, I have actually seen in the room and now I don't feel I ever need to. TLDR, girlfriend has locked room in house, turns out to be nothing but bad memories. Oh, that got real sad. That got really sad. Smart Quokka, I think, said, I hope Amy got therapy. And Istara said that, and I hope they both move house. Staying in that house can't be good long term. That room is always going to be a memory of trauma, no matter how lovely the rest of the house is. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the best thing to do would be to sell up because obviously, like OP has said, she bought it as a fixer-upper. I'm sure she's made that house look a million times better than it did when she bought it. Sell it, buy something new, something completely fresh. What has happened is now out in the open. He knows about it now, and I'm sure, obviously, that feels daunting to OP's girlfriend. I can imagine it feels very daunting. All of a sudden, that thing you've been keeping in, now they know, and you're going to be sitting there thinking, do they look at me different? Are they pitying me? Are they judging me? Are they mad at me? You know, there's going to be a lot of different feelings that I'm sure OP's girlfriend is going through. So a good, fresh, clean break from that house in something new, a nice new start. With everything out in the open, they don't have to talk about it again. But it would do the world of good for her, I think. But of course, that is not for me to say because it is not my situation. But I do hope that after all these years that Amy got some therapy or, you know, just felt better for having said it out loud to OP, no secrets. I hope they got a new place and they're doing good. I hope they're doing really, really good. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there for today. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, then I really, really appreciate you. If you would like to like or subscribe, I'd appreciate that too. And it'll also help you find your way back here as well, because I do post every single day. Other than that, I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope the ending there didn't make you feel too sad. I do apologise. I was umming and ahhing about whether adding on an Am I the Butthole post on the end of it to try and lighten the mood, but then I thought no, because that kind of feels wrong to do as well. So yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.